Welcome to SVG-TV News for Tuesday, June 7th, 2016. I'm Lauren Fraser with the details. With the deficit falling from $18 million last year to $7.37 million this year for a period January to April, Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves is cautioning Vincentians to be prudent with their finances. At a media conference at Cabinet Room today, Dr. Gonsalves, who just returned from the 7th Summit of the Association of Caribbean States in Cuba, says just like some countries throughout the region, St. Vincent and the Grenadines has shown some fiscal improvement.
The current account balance is $5.2 million plus. Last year at this time, at the end of April, there was a deficit of almost $4 million. And the overall deficit is $7.37 million compared to just over $18 million last year at the end of April. So that there is some improvement in the fiscal numbers. At the same time, I caution again that we are not out of the proverbial woods, and we still require real care in the management of our resources and the way we spend our money, and of course the question of the collection of the revenues. We still have some way to go with improvements in that regard.
The finance minister says while there has been an improvement in the collection of revenue and taxes by 11.7%, more has to be done. He outlined that the current revenue and grants amount to some $180 million, an increase of 5.7%, while the current revenue is $178.5 million, an increase by 6.1% from last year with $168.3 million. With the total expenditure of both capital and recurrent falling slightly and property taxes and stamp duties down, taxes in goods and services have gone up by 2.3%. Prime Minister Gonsalves, however, stated that the value-added tax has been a good source of collection and that prudence must be exercised when giving concessions.
Value-added tax collections have gone up by about 7%. Still have a lot of arrears on a number of taxes. Taxes on international trade, they've gone up by 8%. That could have been a little higher, though the growth is commendable. We still give too many ad hoc concessions. And we have to tighten those. And everybody applies. Because when you don't give, you're the worst man in the world. But it has a price.
An injection of $1.85 million US dollars, or 4.87 million Eastern Caribbean dollars from the Republic of China on Taiwan will help to upgrade the record-keeping system here in 3 government departments, along with other work. This is through a signed agreement with the governments of Taiwan and SVG today through the Cooperation in Information and Communication Technology and the Electronic Document and Records Management System, or EDRMS project. Taiwanese Ambassador Bashan Gur says that he hopes the grant will help with the operations of the Service Commission, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and others.
And today, I'm proud to be a partner with Minister Gonsalves to launch the new ICT cooperation project in this country again. The total budget my government has earmarked for this new project is $1.85 million US dollars. That is roughly 4.87 million EC dollars. This new project, as I just said, aims to build an intra-agency digital document interchange network among governmental agencies at different levels. The project, once built, will increase efficiency and effectiveness, reduce redundancy, and strengthen security on governmental document processing and transmission.
Minister of Foreign Affairs Camilo Gonçalves says that the relationship with Taiwan which was formulated since 1981, has been a mutually beneficial one. Gonçalves, who is also Information Technology Minister, welcomes the assistance to improve the information networking system in the government departments, which he says will help to upgrade an antiquated system of record keeping.
Merely a signal of our continued diplomatic cooperation and friendship. They represent a lot more. They signal a desire on both our parts to ensure that our relations are manifest not only in concrete edifices, but also in pragmatic ways. It also signals a desire to increase the level of collaboration between our two countries in tangible ways. No one here today, ladies and gentlemen, would deny that there's been an exponential growth in digital information in recent years. We in the government are cognizant of this rapid expansion, and given its ubiquity, we also know that if it is not managed efficiently, it is easy for critical information to be lost and important data not retrieved in a time or in a manner that is necessary to inform sensible decision-making.
General Manager of the Center of Enterprise Development Incorporated, the CED, Felix Lewis, has expressed concern that youths in the country are being trained to be employees rather than employers. Speaking at the recently held Small Business Management Workshop, which was organized by the ECCB in collaboration with the Center for Enterprise Development, Lewis emphasized the importance of entrepreneurship. He stated that entrepreneurs are the main creators of employment and the heart of a sustainable economic development in any country. As such, the youths need to be encouraged to become business leaders.
Any country cannot work for government. That is out of the question. Although it would appear so when we look at the education system, which generally prepares to work for people, either government or other people. There's only so much lawyers and doctors that the country could accommodate to make a decent living. Outside of that, it would, is a rush to the bottom. So we have to find other things to do. In addition, in economies where entrepreneurs are encouraged, supported, and successful, it creates opportunities for everybody in the society. So the more people, self-employed people in the country, the more entrepreneurs, generally the more healthy economic well-being for that particular country.
Head of the local ECCB branch, Elretha Miguel, said their programs are not designed to be regarded as academic musings, but rather practical and relatable discussions designed to address the needs of the participants and provide them with applicable tools and solutions.
ESP, what is that? E, engaging, entertaining, and educational. S, simple. P, practical. We have partnered with a very knowledgeable and experienced group of facilitators whom we are sure will assist you in achieving this ESP learning. The ECCB public education is rooted in its purpose and was set out when it was established on the 1st of October 1983 to facilitate economic stability and growth through the maintenance of sound monetary, credit, and banking systems within the member territories.
The workshop comprised of 39 participants and is expected to progress over the next few days. And a symposium on the National Civil Society Capacity Building Forum on the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals was held here today at the French's House. The featured speaker at the event was Dr. Richard Byron Cox, who stressed that the achievement of sustainable development goals is based on three essential factors: the people and their livelihoods, economic operations, and the environment.
Many times, for example, on the radio here in St. Vincent, where people call in and say, oh, Miss X have a big farm next to me. You understand? Smelling up my place, smelling up my children, and so on and so on. Right? So Miss X has an environment for producing meat. But that environment, right, is disturbing somebody else. So is that just to that other person? Is that just to that other person? But look what happens around the town here. Is is this just to all of us, the operations that happen around the town here? I can tell you, for example, there's a hardware in the middle of Kingstown. Now, I do not know how you can have a hardware store in the middle of Kingstown. You're selling cement, galvanized, and so on. You often necessarily have to stop the traffic. And this is a hardware store on Back Street. Now, everywhere else I go in the world, a hardware store, they have some place that you can load up the truck, you know what I mean, somewhere in the back. But we have one on Back Street.
The work of the Indian Heritage Foundation is to preserve the history, heritage, and culture of persons of East Indian descent, and it's not about bringing together a race. This was the comment made by President of the Indian Heritage Foundation, Junior Bacchus, as his organization held a ceremony in commemoration of Indian Landing Day on Sunday. June 1st is celebrated as Indian Landing Day in SVG, with this year being the 155th anniversary of the arrival of East Indian migrants to SVG. Bacchus stated that his foundation is celebrating 10 years and has been working toward the preservation of Indian heritage.
The foundation is not about bringing together a race. The foundation is about preserving the culture, the history, and the traditions of the Indian people. We have in this country nearly 10% of our population that can claim the right to be Indians. I can claim 50% being Indian. Many others can claim 25%, 100%. But we have a history and a culture that we believe that we must preserve and encourage. And that is why I'm so happy that we were able to have this foundation going. In fact, this year, July, will be 10 years since that first meeting in Argyle.
Also giving remarks was the former Minister of Culture, who stated that it is important to cement the gains of all people who make up the fabric of the nation, and encouraged the Indian Heritage Foundation to continue their work in preserving Indian heritage.
We had been taught that the peoples who are the indigenous peoples were not really part of the country. They just happened to live out there. We didn't see them as part of the national fabric. We were not taught to recognize that they make up a part of the national identity. So having the Indian Heritage Foundation was a very important milestone, because there are generations to come who must know the history of the country.
That was former Minister of Culture Rene Batiste. Bacchus also announced that the immigration records of East Indian migrants have been restored and are being housed at the National Archives in Trinidad, thus giving persons of Indian descent the opportunity to trace their roots and learn more about their heritage.
You're going to register. After the first 100 and something, you will see that they stop trying to write the Indian names of the immigrants that came to this country. So it will be a good job for the younger ones, the junior arm of the foundation, to do a tracing of roots. If you remember the movie Roots that created a revolution in the United States of America, well, you have your own right to make your own movie about your own roots. Thank you so much for the invitation to be here. Congratulations, you're in the 10th anniversary. What a wonderful journey it has been.
Again, that information coming from former Minister of Culture Rene Batiste. Here now is a sample of the cultural performances at the commemoration ceremony. In related news, at Sunday's event, 4 senior members of the Indian community were recognized for their contribution in the preservation of the Indian heritage and culture. Our Reed Reynold Thomas and Murray Bullock, who received a plaque on behalf of his father, Reynold Bullock, expressed gratitude for the gesture.
This is an important ceremony in the life of our country. We cannot emphasize that enough. So we have to do what it takes. On behalf of the National Lottery, I would like to say that it has been our distinct pleasure working with the Indian Heritage Foundation along with other ethnic groupings, and we have been very happy to support the work of the Indian Heritage Foundation over the years, and I see no reason why that partnership should not continue. I think
that we, the descendants from India, have much to thank God for bringing our foreparents in this part of the world. I had nothing against India, but I prefer, thank God, that I'm here in this part of the world. I've been against Trinidad, Guyana, or any other cities, but I thank God that has brought my foreparents to St. Vincent, the blessed land of St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
And in court news, 28-year-old Shimel Dunbar, a laborer from Rillon Hill, has been arrested and charged for causing the death of James Sheppy Shepherd, who resided at Camden Park at the time of his death on May 31st this year at 20 Hill. Dunbar was escorted to the Serious Offences Court this morning, facing the indictable charge to which he was not allowed to plea. He was remanded into custody until September 14th, 2016, when the preliminary inquiry is expected to commence, looking into the circumstances that caused Shepherd's death. Reports are that 44-year-old Shepherd's body was discovered lying at the side of the road near a vehicle with what appeared to be a gunshot wound to his head. Dunbar walked free last December after the conclusion of a preliminary inquiry on a charge of a similar nature due to the lack of sufficient evidence. And Delano McDowell, a young man from Otley Hall, is yet another to have been arrested by the police on gun-related charges. McDowell was reportedly intercepted by lawmen on June 3, 2016 in the Otley Hall area with a firearm while they were on routine mobile patrol. McDowell was on Monday, June 6th, taken before the Chief Magistrate Rayshan Brown at the Serious Offences Court, where he maintained his innocence for having in his possession an illegal weapon without a license. When the issue of bail came up, Senior Prosecutor Adolphus Delpesh objected. Delpesh told the court that on September 10th, 2015, McDowell was ordered by the High Court to pay the sum of $8,000 for another offense, and a warrant has been out for him for non-payment. As a result, he was remanded into custody until June 20th this year, when the trial is expected to commence. Carnival Beat is coming right up. Six young ladies will be taking the stage this Friday night in Petty Bedell for the second annual Miss Leeward pageant. Speaking with SVG-TV News earlier today, the pageant's coordinator, Romina Matthews, said the aim of the pageant is to give young ladies from the Leeward side of the country experience and exposure in pageantry.
What I would like for each young lady to get from this pageant is experience, build their personal development, and to have fun, and also endless memories. Well, the Miss Leeward pageant, this is our second year, but before that we used to host the Miss North Leeward pageant, which was just for young ladies within the North Leeward constituency, but the Miss Leeward is for young ladies from North, Central, and South Leeward. What makes this competition special is that it's bigger, It brings out a lot of patrons from all over the Leeward side, which makes the other events even more bigger and more better.
President of the North Leeward Sports and Culture Organization, Rayon Murray, said the pageant will feature a display of mass as a way of embracing the cultural aspects of Vincy Mass. Murray appeals to carnival revelers, especially those who will be attending the activities on the Leeward end this weekend, to keep it violent-free, and thanked all parties which continue to play a part in the Leeward Carnival activities.
We've been having a great season so far. Pursues, they have been on their best behavior, and I just want to encourage them to come out and continue down this line and let us have a violence-free carnival. I would like to say thanks to our sponsors. We have on board with us. We have the CDC, we have Hyroon, we have Flow, we have Juicy, and we have Extreme Radio. Okay, I also like to say thanks to Simple Songs, who they have been working along with us over the years. This year they have played a more integral part of the carnival by doing the Soca Monarch, which was a great show also. So I'd just like to say thanks to them, and thanks to all persons who are supporting now the Leeward Carnival.
The 6 Miss Leeward contestants expressed confidence that they will deliver a spectacular performance and have their eyes set on participating in the Miss SVG pageant.
I think they should expect that I will do my best, and I would like to enter the Miss SVG pageant a couple of years from now, because I have intention of entering others.
Well, my ultimate goal is to become a future Miss SVG contestant, so I believe that entering these smaller pageants will be a stepping stone for me to achieving that goal, where I can gain the knowledge and experience that is needed for pageantry. Well, so far we have been practicing, and we know how they are. We are all good, and we are working on to make the show great.
Well, the preparation so far is going very good. I believe that on show night it will be even better. Come out at the particular hardcore and witness the crowning of Miss Leeward 2016. You will expect nothing but the best from 6 beautiful young ladies as we grace the stage, presenting to you poise, class, and confidence.
Well, since I'm in secondary school still, I have to leave off some of my schoolwork to deal with the pageant. That's the only sacrifice.
So this is my second.
And you plan to move on to other pageants?
Miss SVG.
Because I have passion
and brilliance. And I've entered my first pageant last year, and I placed second one, and I said I will enter next one with more effort to capture the crown.
Okay, and you plan to move on from here to other pageants, particularly Miss SVG?
Yes. Hey, Andrew, I would like you guys to come out at a bit with a hard coat, with the 6 beautiful young ladies, fight for the title of Miss Leeward. I thank you.
One of the much anticipated events which seeks to usher in the carnival season, Soca Swing, took place at Carnival City Victoria Park on Sunday, June 5th, and was deemed a success. At the Hits franchise event hosted by Island Network Incorporated, patrons were wowed by some of SVG's very best soca artists, including Skinny Fabulous, Fireman, Kato, Wetty Beats, Kev, Ozari, Hans, and a number of others. The well-attended event culminated with a special performance by Trinidad and Tobago's female soca artist, Destra Garcia.
Right now she's her money done, and she just want to have fun. Right now she under some rum, she want to let the guy down. Right now she don't have healthy ways. To tear down again, to drink rum up, to mash up. Watch me. Let me mash up the whole park. Let me mash up the whole park. Rolling. Everybody on rolling. Everybody jump up. Man, now it's up. Oh, girl, now I hold you. Why? Oh, girl, now I hold you. Say, oh, girl, now I record the music sweet, the music nice. Say, oh, yeah, see.
see you, let me see you do this one for body, girl. Pardon.
Let me see you. Sing. My team with your back down from nobody. Andrew.
Listen, guys who don't want to see you guys never want the good. So then we just tell them we
Post the life. Bring the grass, let me light. Watch me